Hello, this is Elsie Tree. I love Chinese dramas and I would like to share them with you. This is episode 2 of Love Like the Galaxy Guide. Before we delve into Love Like the Galaxy, episode 2, I would like to know that I've created 2 videos that might help you. The first video is the character introduction, where I will go through new characters as well as refreshing the old characters. And the other one is filial piety context. This actually is quite important because it explains how filial piety affects ancient Chinese culture. I hope you watched episode 1 of Love Like the Galaxy. In episode 1, here are the events that occur. After a 15-year war, General Ling Buyi returns. He arrests Uncle Dong because he is a weapons embezzler. Niaoniao, who's our female lead, she is 15, and she has been raised by her grandmother and her aunt, though both neglected her and did not really take care of her. Niaoniao's parents finally see her for the first time after the 15-year separation. They saw how frail she was, how neglected she looked. They actually were quite shocked of her condition. They sent housekeeper Lee to the workhouse because she was abusive. I also prepared a relationship tree for you. In this tree, you will see the families that we've met, the Cheng family, the Ling family, the Dong family, and all the relationships between each member. Please pause as you wish to take a look at the detail of this character relationship tree. Now I would like to start reviewing episode 2 of Love Like the Galaxy. Ling Buyi, as he exits the palace, he refuses the emperor's suggestion to stop investigating this weapons embezzlement situation. He's really determined to follow every clue. Because Uncle Dong is so closely associated with the Cheng family, he places surveillance on the Cheng family. His second lieutenant comes to report to him. As they were talking, there is a breakthrough moment in the investigation. They suddenly receive a bundle that was sent by Niaoniao directly to Ling Buyi. When he opens up the bundle, he sees hay and textiles. Both his lieutenants think that this is a prank or something else, but Ling Bui was able to interpret this message. He and his lieutenants went to seize the Ge family's textile shop. When they examine the account books, they find evidence against Uncle Dong. They find that he has invested 80,000 coins on the shop, which is an impossible sum given his modest military salary. So, they continue interrogating him. And during that interrogation, Uncle Dong was hopeful that he can get support from his nephew Cheng Shi, but he realizes that no such help will be available to him. Life at the Cheng compound is really complicated. The issue of having an uncle that exchanged quality weapons for counterfeit weapons is a big problem for them. This isn't only about Uncle Dong. It's about the Cheng family's survival. Madame Ge, as she is always available to make nasty comments, she actually blames Niaoniao for helping Ling Buyi and backstabbing the Cheng family, and she claims that she created all this chaos. Grandmother Cheng pleads and wails and cries. She wants her youngest brother to be saved by the Cheng family. The next day, in the courtyard, Grandmother Cheng continues her pleading and crying. Her sister-in-law, Uncle Dong's wife, just appeared. And she is also pressuring the Cheng family to bail out or save Uncle Dong. Grandmother Cheng ups the ante. She cries and she said that there is no place for her but to go join her dead husband because she cannot even save her youngest brother. She then threatens her son, Cheng Shi, to hand him over to the authorities for disobedience. Her grief is really genuine, but she's very calculating. C-dramas will always talk about filial piety, disobedience, and being unfilial as major sources of conflict. Understanding this will help you follow the family tensions of this episode. When Cheng Shi sees this drama enroll, he and his wife adds on to the drama, starts crying and saying how he is a son who is good for nothing. And during all this time, Niaoniao is watching the play. But I wonder, how would Cheng Shi be able to explain to his mother the seriousness of this crime? Here we see Niaoniao and her maid watching as if this was a theater situation. So shortly thereafter, we meet a new person. Her name is Madame Hu. Madame Hu used to be grandmother's childhood friend, and she tells her of the horrors of war. She also tells her that had Cheng Shi not been there, her entire family would have been wiped out. She also tells her that when Cheng Shi was trying to defend her and her family, his weapons actually broke, during the fight. And so he basically used his body to shield Madame Hu and her family from the attack of the bandits. And she was telling Grandmother Cheng about all this, clarifying why and how these things affect the war. Grandmother Cheng is extremely concerned now that she realizes that her own son has been directly affected by this weapons embezzlement case. She wants to see more. Shortly thereafter, Cheng Shi, her son, says, okay, I'll take all the blame. I'll tell Ling Buyi that I'm the one who ordered my uncle to embezzle the weapons. I think this would be appropriate, since, mother, you want me to save your youngest brother. They get interrupted by the arrival of Uncle Dong's wife, who says, oh, yes, I just heard. Yes, that would be really nice. Could you please take the blame? So now let me tell you about this family's grudges. Madame Ge has a grudge against Zhao Yanyi because her husband, Cheng Shi, is the eldest. And that removes her from being the matron of the house, a position she has been very much used to in the last 15 years. Now, instead of being respected and owed obedience, she actually has to respect and obey Zhao Yanyi. We also get a little story about Madame Ge's effort to have more of a status in the Cheng family. She does not have a son. So she tried to adopt a boy from the Ge family and claim him as her own, therefore assuring her status. But Niaoniao has actually tempered this whole situation. The little boy came and there was a big incident with bees and stuff like that, and he had to go back, and her effort to adopt that boy were thwarted. So she really doesn't like Niaoniao. So let me tell you about the tricks and maneuvering that happened in order for Zhao Yanyi and Cheng Shi to come basically unexpected. They were supposed to show up 2 weeks later. But remember when Grandmother Cheng was so happy that they came? Well, this is why they went and picked up Niaoniao from the little town, from the little village. They actually wanted to provide a curated look of how they had basically raised Niaoniao, and they were basically taken with their pants down. And so it was really a shock, and that really gets on Madame Ge's nerves. But at the same time, Madame Ge is very happy in the lodgings that she had. She has been occupying the main lodging for the elder son for 15 years. Again, a situation of status and position within the family. So now she really doesn't want to move out of there. Zhao Yanyi has been observing her daughter. She's been noticing the fainting. She actually noticed the rubbing of salt on her lips, but she could maybe assume. And it seems that also Niaoniao has redirected the smoke from the kitchen to somewhere else, and Grandmother Cheng is very suspicious or superstitious. So when this whole thing happened, she started wondering if there was something that would happen to the Cheng family as an inauspicious sign. Niaoniao's mother has also caught Niaoniao and her maid watching, laughing at the family when there was that big scene in the courtyard earlier that day. And as soon as Niaoniao got caught, Niaoniao started behaving as if she was still sick. But now that she has seen her several times do that, she brought in a ruler and she gave Niaoniao a punishment. When Niaoniao was caught by her mother, she's realizing slowly that her mother is too observant, and she may not be able to get away with the things she used to get away with. She doesn't understand why her mother doesn't punish the people who actually made her life hell for the last 15 years. Niaoniao is realizing that she would not be able to get support from her mother. Now I would like to tell you what's going to happen in episode 3. So in episode 3, Ling Buyi's whole investigation advances. Also, more realizations happen to Niaoniao's mother and father. Madame Ge never skips a beat. We also meet for the first time Niaoniao's uncle and cousin. Also, Uncle Dong is being sent away. What is he going to say just before he leaves? Also, awards are being given from the emperor, and Madame Ge being frustrated yet again because of Niaoniao. This is Elsie Tree. I am a sapling in this adventure, and I hope this guide help you saplings to enjoy watching episode 2 of Love Like the Galaxy. If this was helpful to you, I hope you could please subscribe and like, and I hope to talk to you soon when I release my guide to episode 3 of Love Like the Galaxy. Take care.